Hey, welcome to another typology interview. We have Charles, the poster boy for the ISFPs on Dave's channel. How's it going, Charles? Do you want me to call you Chuck
Going
or
pretty good.
Charles?
Charles would be better.
All right, yeah, we'll do that.
I go by Chuck on Facebook, but that's just an alias.
All right, gotcha. Cool, man. So, welcome. Tell us about your history and typology a little bit.
Well, ironically, it was, I don't know how to explain it, but like I started studying this stuff to prove somebody wrong because they were trying to say, "Oh, I think I know what you are," kind of deal. And I was confused and I didn't know, so I took a test and I got INFJ, and I'm like, "Oh, I am INFJ. I feel super empathetic and I care about people." And I was totally wrong. I'm not an INFJ.
Right,
And then I thought, okay, I'm INFP, and that didn't work either.
right.
It was revealed to me by the hordes, literally hordes, man, that I was ISFP, and I'm like, because I never saw myself as ISFP, uh, and it's hard to explain, but like a lot of
Yeah,
people that I was in a group with on the internet, I was in an NF group. I keep their identity secret because like it's a very secret group, and I respect the people that run it.
cool.
So basically, they told me I was an ISFP, like every single one of them. I'm like, so when the tribe comes at you with the pitchforks,
Right,
I was just like, am ISFP really? How? And they're like, a lot of them are like, we see FIS in you completely.
right.
I'm like, well, I am a guitar player, so I guess that's right. So
Right.
basically, it was revealed to me. It wasn't something that I actually believed.
Yeah, so you weren't actually officially typed yet by Dave and Shannon, but they sort of did officially type you in in their video, and yeah, like they had typed you basically without you knowing. But one of the main reasons that I'm so happy to have you is because I haven't had another FI here, and I've been just looking for an FI, and there's no FIs in typology. So I'm like really excited to talk to you about your FI.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah. So tell me a little bit about like how you see FI, because for me it's my eighth function. I have no idea what it is.
For you, that would be your demon. Do
Yeah,
not go. Do not go to that place. Your FI demon is a killer.
yeah,
Don't go to your eighth function.
right,
um, I don't know how to explain it other than I have strong beliefs. Like every band I've ever been in has always had Christian lyrics or at least some kind of ideological something or other that I have to agree with, or I
okay.
just won't do it.
You have
I'm
to
also very
agree with.
side and kind of bullheaded and stubborn, and I don't cut my hair, I don't cut my beard, I wear band shirts all the time, and I don't know how to explain FI other than it's just a very strong bullheaded function.
Right. Do you feel like you just do what you want and you don't really care about the consequences, or
I care about consequences in like I don't do stupid stuff like and I will say be
right,
careful, you know. It's not that I'm literally going out and doing what I want and shoving people out of the way, but it's just I'm an individualistic, everything I do must feel right, like the bands I'm in, they must have lyrics I agree with, it must be a style of music I like, it must be something that lines up with the FI.
right. Do you feel like FI also contributes to your values, or it holds your values, or contains it, or some in some way?
I would guess if that's what FI is, because like I'm a Christian or whatever. I'm not the greatest example of a Christian, but I'm a Christian, and I believe what I believe
Right.
forever and ever. Like it's very unchangeable. Like I'm a Christian for life. You know.
Do you feel like
Uh,
FI is your identity? Your feelings are your identity. That's who you are.
I guess that's a way to say it. If we had to give it a word, I just think
Right.
of myself as I think of myself as an ISFP. I think of myself as a Christian, and I think of myself as a metalhead.
Right.
So if that's identity, that's identity.
Right. Well, it seems like you at least are certain about who you are in some way, right? Like you're not
Oh
wavering in any way.
no, I know who I am.
Right.
But
Cool.
I've never put it in a language like that. I
Right,
mean,
right. And you know what you like?
oh yeah, very much so, man.
Yeah.
I like a lot of metal bands. I like creepy pastas. I like listening to podcasts. I don't know. I like Marshall amplifiers and Gibson guitars.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so weird. Okay.
Well,
No, it's just so I've like it
you
just
have
rolls off your tongue. Like yeah. Wow. I'm in awe.
to, I like your approach in your videos. It's such a TI approach because you want to literally see how everybody works mechanically.
Right.
That's kind of cool. That's
Right.
cool. I appreciate that kind of thing.
Wow. Dude, man, I need to keep going into that FI. I need to figure it out more. So like do you experience feelings? Are they deep for you, feelings, emotions?
Yeah, and I often will do things to invoke the emotions because that's how it helps me process through things. Like I listen to a lot of music with heavy emotions because it kind of helps me really just like that's how I deal with emotions. You know,
Wow.
it's very internal and it's very. If I listen to a song that echoes how I feel, sometimes it helps me feel better because it's hard to really show how we feel because like we're stoic. You know, people think that we seem cold and aloof and
Okay.
and somebody even told me, man, you're emotionalist. I'm thinking, really? I'm very emotional, but I keep having to realize the emotional thing I'm talking about is inside of my head.
Well, like
Nobody
yeah, you
actually.
seem like you maybe if you are emotional, it's in a very calm and controlled state. Like your emotions will never run away from you, or will they?
I think they are in a common control state because being that it's a dominant function, you know how to wield it, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
The very like I think it's a stereotype that FI DOMs are emotional, but really I don't think we're as emotional as people think we are. I think we actually are more aloof outwardly. The
Yeah.
emotions, if somebody's putting out a lot of emotion, that's probably not to sound stereotypical. That's
Yeah, it's not
probably,
an FI. Yeah.
yeah. I could be wrong.
No, no, no. It makes sense to me. Like that's exactly what I would have thought it would be because like that's how TI works for me. Like it's just very calm and controlled and yeah. But I mean, like, so would you ever lose control of your emotions?
I mean, if I'm really stressed, I can yell and get angry, when I'm going into what's, I guess you could call an inferior TE grip.
Right.
But I mean, that only happens when I'm like under high levels of stress, which
And
I
if you
mean,
wanted to, you could stop it or you could control it.
it depends because also they say SE is a reactive function. Like most
Right.
of the time, I'm my. What was that? That was weird. Anyways, that was random.
Right.
But I don't know how to explain it really. Like me and my dad, we're both ISFP, so we have the same thing kind of going. We're mostly chill, but at the same time, when we finally had enough, we do have very bad tempers.
Okay.
But that's about the only way. That's the only emotions that have ever come out of me is just anger.
Anger. Yeah, that sounds masculine. Yep.
Like masculine FE or masculine
Masculine
FI.
FI. That sounds like masculine FI. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because like I'm not the guy that cries. I might cry inside of my head by listening to something that just touches me beautifully, but like outwardly, I don't
Right.
show any tears.
And do you enjoy emotion? Like, is it something that you like?
Depends on the day. There's days where I'm like, man, I mean, I do, but at the same time, when it's so overwhelming, you're like, God, I feel like a baby inside.
Right.
Because when you're that sensitive, I don't know how to explain it, but like when you're that sensitive and you're that much in your emotions, there's days where you question your own masculinity, and I've done that. I'm like, dear God, I feel so many things going on at once.
Right.
It's
And you're aware of all of them? You can track them all separately or
I don't know if I can give a name for them, but I just know I'm a very sensitive person inside,
right.
if that makes any sense. And I never knew why until I learned what FI was.
Right. So I was also talking to someone about this and they said that desire is also some kind of feeling or like what you want. Is that true? Did you resonate with that?
I know very much what I want, but I also associate wanting what you want with NI actually, because you see your future in a very personalized, how am I going to get there kind of way, or how I will get there kind of way. But yeah, I know what I want. I know what I want to do in life. I know that I want to make albums. I know that I want to write books. I know that I want to get a degree and teach music, and not work the current job. So yeah, I'm very, very aware of everything I want.
Right.
Probably to the point of ridiculousness and selfishness. I'm very aware of how I feel, what I want, what my desires are. And I've always been a firm believer that people need to follow their dreams and passions.
Right.
Because if you
Interesting.
don't follow your dreams and passions, you're killing yourself. You have gifts and talents, go out and use your gifts and talents.
Right.
So, whatever you want to call that.
And okay, and like what would be your highest ideal like happiness or something or
Just doing something that I love and believe in, like
right.
playing music, um, just being creative. I love being creative. Like I'm writing a novel, and I'm in a band, and those are the things I really enjoy doing because I can just be very expressive, just be very creative. I don't like regular jobs. I like creating.
Right. And how deep do you think like some of your emotions go? Like do you feel that there's depth to them? Like they go really deep?
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you. I couldn't explain it.
Yeah, I know. Definitely not. Yeah, it's give me
I,
reasons. Give me TE reasons. No.
um,
But
Google
like
FI. There's the TE reasons.
yeah. So like how deep like are you always aware of the depth of your emotions? Like they go really deep?
Uh, yes and no. Just depends on the day and how what's going through my head. Because there's like I can feel more than one thing at once. I can feel
Yeah.
happy and sad in one sitting and be like, "What's wrong with me? Am I bipolar?" But I mean, I have days where I'm like really depressed, and all of a sudden I'm really happy and depressed at the same time, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" It's FI, man. It's got a mind of its own.
Right.
It's hard to explain, but you just have to experience
Yeah. Yeah.
it. Of course, if you're not an FI person, you won't be able to. Every FI person will tell you we don't know how to explain it, but it's just it's deep and it's strong, and I'm weird. Like a lot of good things can happen to me, and then I have an emotional crash. Like I can have a good day, but feel completely emotionally drained from all the things that are happening to
Right. Do you feel like it helps you make decisions too? Like does FI make decisions for you?
me. I would say so.
Yeah.
Um, if it's a decision-making function, I guess I've never thought of it on like a binary coin, like the way you're presenting it. I've just
Yeah.
do what I do.
Right.
Well, everything I do must feel right to me, and it takes me a while to make like hardcore decisions. I have to like think things through before I decide what I want to do.
Right.
Something simple like, am I going to Taco Bell today? Well, that's easy. But if it's something like, do I want to join a certain band, or
Right.
career choices or something like that? But like, yeah, man, I would say FI is the big decision maker.
Right. And the kind of decisions it makes is based on some sort of evaluation, like some sort of like, is this better or that better? Or is this
It's just
more moral?
it's just based on what do I want to do?
Right.
What what will help me? What feels right? What I don't know how to explain it in words. I
No,
just
man, you're explaining it perfect. Like I have never like talked to anyone about FI yet. So like, this is all just completely fresh and new for me. So I'm
okay.
really happy. I appreciate it.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that like maybe you know about FI that you've been able to discern or
It helps me be very empathetic, actually.
really?
Not in the FE way, but like FI, you can put yourself in other people's shoes. You can understand the suffering around you because you don't want to suffer. And because of FI, you can relate to a lot of people's emotions because we feel so many. You can imagine how somebody might feel in a certain situation because you've experienced it yourself. And you're like, man,
Right.
I feel bad for that person because I've been through that before. I can imagine what's going through their head. I hope they
Right.
feel better. FI makes you like, FI makes me treat people better because I know how it feels to be bullied and picked on and treated
Right.
bad. Therefore, my brain naturally says, well, treat everybody and love your neighbor as yourself because you've been through some stuff and you definitely don't want anybody else to go through some stuff.
Right.
So I'm very anti-bully, treat people with love, kindness, compassion, because you don't treat people right, you're a piece of crap, basically.
Yeah. Are your feelings intense? Like, is your FI feel intense, or just feels like just that's just the way it is?
It's intense on some days, and some days it's calm, depending on what's going through my head, man.
Yeah,
It's a different day, man. If I'm dealing with some heavy stuff, it's very intense to where you just want to hide in a corner.
I
You don't want
see.
nobody to catch you or whatever. Um, Even though nobody actually knows what the hell we're feeling, but we feel it, so it feels so real to us. Even though people
Right.
out see that we're expressionless almost.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay, and so tell me how does that work with SE? Like, how does your FI take in SE information? Like, how do you like when you consume? Is there something that goes on there with SE? Like,
I mainly consume stuff I like. Uh,
right.
Basic. I listen to a lot of the same albums. I listen to a lot of the same bands over and over, and I watch a lot of the same videos.
You find it's like a very sensory consume, like something that stimulates your senses, or
I don't know. It depends. It could just be, oh, I like this album a lot. This has got some really good songs. These songs have powerful emotions to them. These songs
right,
make me good, so I'm gonna listen to this song. Or it could be I'm watching one of my favorite, videos, and it's a female lead singer, and I'm like, okay, I love her voice, but I like the girl as well, and she's gorgeous, but I also, it's hard to explain. So that
right,
could be an S thing, but it's also an FI thing. Like one of my favorite bands I like is because the girl herself is a good person.
right,
I've met her and she's really nice, blah 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 blah, and it's very personal to me.
right. Do you find it easy to relate to people and to to get people to open up to you or to explore other people's feelings and things?
People open up to me anyways because I guess they feel like I'm very empathetic or
Right,
something. Like girls specifically, more than anything.
right,
I was always the guy over the years that the girls would call to talk about problems with because I was quiet, and they're
right.
like, and girls always would just do that, and that's cool. But you also want to date the girls too.
Yeah,
You don't.
and that's friend zone stuff that's going on there.
At this point in time of my life, oh, sorry about that. If you hear that train.
Yeah, it's okay.
Um, um, at this point in time in my life, I'm actually okay with friend zone stuff because I'm going to school and I work a job and I just, you know, just trying to better myself basically.
Right,
But like, yeah, I've always been that guy that the girls would call and talk to about their problems because I was the listener.
right.
And even today, that still happens. I know a female ESTP who will text me throughout the day just to have somebody to freaking listen to her.
Wow.
You
Right.
know,
Okay, so what about your sleep, your NF sleep? Do you think you can go pretty deep into your understandings? Like, are they emotional understandings that yours, or what's going on there?
it's like epiphanies. Actually, I start getting revelations of things. Like I understand things better. Basically, my sleep is just. I guess it's like relating everything to myself. I think about stuff all the time. I rehearse conversations all the time. Like I don't even know why I've done that over the years, but I've always rehearsed conversations and I imagine stuff all the time. Like sleep for me is a lot of things. Sometimes I just imagine things being different. I'll literally just daydream and zone out and, think about the situation changing or thinking about just something fantasy like even, just to boost
Yeah.
my as a kid I daydreamed all the time. In fact, I daydreamed so bad I used to take pills to kind of zone me back in because they were causing seizures.
Wow. Wow. So you feel like you fantasize a lot? Like, is that really what's going on in your sleep? Just fantasizing about what could be or what you would, yeah?
It's a mixture of that. It's also me just trying to understand everything. Like, what does this
Right.
mean? How do I relate to this? Blah 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 blah. It's hard to explain. I don't know how to explain it.
No, you're explaining it perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. And
But
okay,
so,
sorry.
what is my leading animal? Because I really don't know if I'm consumed first or sleep first. I can't really tell.
Right. It's whatever you feel more responsible to do. So
That's a good. Feel more responsible to do.
yeah, Like like if you were given the option between the two, what would you feel like you have to do, not what you want to do?
I like them both almost equally in different ways. But
Right.
like when I listen to music, I go into a sleep mode a lot
Right.
because I'm not always thinking about what I'm listening to. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm just down and I'll completely like ignore what I'm listening to.
Also, if you get high a lot, you're probably in sleep most of the time anyways, so.
You what now?
I said if you get high a lot, you're probably in sleep also, most of the
Right.
time.
No,
Yeah.
I don't get high.
No? Really?
I don't do anything like that, man.
It's against your values.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
and uh that's interesting that you thought that, but people think that by looking at me, so I
Yeah.
no man, my sleep mode comes naturally. Like I said, I'll listen to a lot of the same stuff. Um I've been notorious for watching the same videos every night before going to bed, and I don't know what that's called, but I don't know if that's consume or more of a sleep thing.
Yeah, like maybe it's you just trying to regulate your feelings. Like if you're in full control and you can control use the outside world to control how you feel in that way and process. I don't know, maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, it could be consumed for the purpose of sleep.
Yeah, because I like what I like,
Right.
and I know what experiences I like, so I listen to a lot. Like it's hard to get me into new bands. I have to talk myself into listening to something new. I have to be like, all right, open your mind. This is in the same genre you like. Just check these guys out. It might not suck. If you don't like it, then you can change the station or whatever.
Right.
So
But are you interested in a lot of new? Do you want to learn new things, or it's really stuff that you know? Yeah. So that's a
just stuff.
low, yeah. That's a low consume. It should be, but I don't know how it works with FI.
I know, like I'm not an IJ.
Right. Yeah.
that would if that would be weird if I was like a sleep blast consume play. I don't know. That wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense. I'd be like a what is the word y'all use for people that are they're typed correctly, but their animals are a little weird for their type.
Yeah. Yeah. The glass lizards. Yeah. Yeah.
That's I'm probably if you go by the quote unquote subtypes, I'm probably an IPIJ thing going on.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but it's just I'm not really into the new. No.
No. Okay. And tell me about your TE. Does it feel like a demon? Does it feel hard for you to actually logic things together?
I mean, in one sense, I'm not dumb. I understand things, but just for me, lower TE just means you're going to prioritize what you want first.
Right.
And people could tell me to cut my hair or to cut my beard all day long, and it's just not going to happen.
Right. Well, that's, yeah, I guess hair and beard is appearance. That would be more SE. Understanding is NI. But like,
It's FI individuality, though.
yeah, that's also, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to explain the TE other than people try to tell me their opinions on stuff, and I'm nice. I'll listen to you, but if I don't agree with you, I'm not going to
Right.
go the route. Like somebody could be like, "Why don't you play out of that type of rig instead?" I'm like, "Well, I like what I like."
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I
That's the
mean,
perfect counter argument. Like, yeah, you like what you like. Like, I don't care what you like. I like what I like. Yeah.
the only time I'll consider TE is if I really don't have knowledge on a situation. I I might ask for help in a situation like when it came to dealing with girls.
Right.
I might actually be like, okay, the girl's doing this. What should I do? And it's not that I'm seeking the tribe. It's called I'm a guy and I'm really dumb in this area. And I, if I have no answer, then I'll ask for an answer. But if I have an answer, I go do
Right.
my own.
What about like people's opinions and things like that? Do they influence you? Like not about feeling things, but more about like what the best application is to use for, I don't know. Or
Um, they can haunt me almost. Like I don't want to hear their opinions. Like
right.
it causes me stressed actually hearing opinions. Unless
Okay.
it's something I really want, unless I specifically ask for it, it I really don't like hearing Like it's one of those, if I make a decision to do something, I may not actually tell somebody that I'm going to do it because I don't want to get griped at about it later.
Right. And
Um,
hmm,
so I don't know. I heard somewhere that inferior TEs basically overly sensitive to people's opinions and almost very insecure. And I would agree with that. We care and don't care at the same time what you think because
right.
it causes so much turmoil.
Right. If someone asks you to explain something and give reasons, is that like annoying? Is that just something that you just don't want to do?
It can it can it can be annoying because it's like, well, I don't know all the reasons, and I don't want to have to explain it because it feels like, how do I explain it? When somebody asks me what the reasons are, it's like they're saying the decision's not valid because they want to know your thought process. Why did you do this?
Right.
Or like I can explain a reason, but it feels super awkward and uncomfortable, and I don't like it. You know, like I don't know how to explain it. I posted something in a forum a couple of days ago about a conclusion I came to on something, and of course, my reasonings were being questioned, and I'm like, I don't know how to fucking explain this shit, I mean, I can't. If I think about it for then I can kind of follow it, but at the same time, I don't want to have to explain myself because it's like you're being scrutinized and put on trial. It's like, well,
Right.
how did you come up with that, or why do you feel that way? It's like,
Right. Interesting. Okay, what about the self-tribe thing? Do you feel like most of your issues in your life are around the tribe, around people?
I would say so because over the years I've always either complained about people or all my biggest stressor. I mean, yeah, I have financial stresses because it's hard to make it in life, but I've always been bad about griping about something somebody did to me or something somebody said or whatever it
Yeah.
is. It's always been a person. Blah 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 did this, blah 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 did that, blah blah blah. It's always been some stupid shit like that,
Right.
and I guess you could say it's definitely tribe issues. Like I joined the band recently that I joined last year, and I was having tribe issues in the last band. It was, and like when I joined this new band, my old band members from the previous band were actually questioning the individuals that I'm jamming with, and that just kind of really irked me, and that just made me not really want to associate as much with those old band members.
Right. I gotcha. Yeah.
What do you call that? Like
Yeah, it's a good question.
I
Um,
would call that a decider issue, in my opinion.
yeah. Yeah, but like, do you think it was going against a value, or like, maybe you felt like people weren't trusting you or something like that? Like,
It was more like these are good people who treat me well and accept me for who I am. How dare you talk bad about me?
right,
That's what it was coming from. It was like these are people that accept me for who I am as a person. They don't judge me. They accept me for what there is. They don't.
and you're judging me right now for who I hang out with, so go fuck you. Yeah.
Ba-
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, exactly. That's what's going through my head. I didn't say that
Yeah.
very loudly or whatever. I'm very bad. Like when people piss me off, I'm very bad about not telling them. I just kind of ghost them. I know that's not right, but I just hate confrontation.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because confrontation, I guess, would go back to the same thing because people would want to talk to you about your reasons, and you just be like, I don't need to tell you my reasons. I have FI, guy. Like that. I have
I don't.
values. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. Just if I'm
Yeah.
not talking to you anymore, you can do the math and realize that you're the common denominator.
Right.
But like I saw something that's talked about like how the lead perceivers have like a lot of control chaos issues, and a friend of mine is having some issues. He's an ENFP and he's depressed, and I just wanted to prove a point. I'm like, well, what's bugging you? And at first I thought it was his friend that was hurting him, but then he dug deeper, and it has something to do with like he's got too many animals at his house, and it's driving him nuts. And they're messy, and it's like,
All
and
right.
I'm thinking, oh my god, bro, you don't realize it, but you just hit the golden ticket. And it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh my god, control versus chaos. That's such a real thing in this guy's life.
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
But he'll get on Facebook and he'll ask the tribe all the time, "What should I do in this situation?" Or he'll vent all of his emotions to the tribe, which is weird because we both have heavy FI, but my FI is dominant, and I never get on Facebook and talk about how I'm feeling because like that stuff is personal and
Personal.
private.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's part of your identity. Yeah. And you protect that. You protect your identity. You don't go show it to everybody all the time. Yep. Same
It's more
thing with
like,
TI.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, it baffles me. I'm just like, why is he putting so much out there? You
Hmm.
know, uh, and but that's just maybe he needs to try validation. He's an ENFP. He looks like Jack Black actually, and I
Hmm.
noticed that he does that. And it's like, okay, maybe he's a TE ENFP, because he needs a lot of tribe to calm him down.
Interesting. Um, I had another question. Okay, what about working on your TE? Do you try to work on it? Do you try to um, develop it at all, or
Being in a band kind of helps because I like to know how things are going to go, and I would say when I'm in a band, I go into an ENTJ subconscious kind of mode, meaning I'm like, okay, when do we practice? When, where, what time? How are we going about all this? These are goals. These are things we need to work on. This is our vision, but then that's very NI stuff too, though. So it's kind of a mixture of the two.
right?
But like that's where it comes out is I'm in the band and I'm like, okay, so we're recording this and recording this. We need album artwork. We need a title. Blah 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 blah. We need to start getting our shows promoted. We need to start selling all this stuff. We need to, I get a very straightforward mindset with the band. So I guess
Hmm.
that's TNNI. I don't
Yeah, it sounds a lot of NI. Yeah, maybe a little T. Yeah. Yeah,
know.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of TE people that I've been interviewing and that are sort of in the OP community, and a few of them have like this disconnect with their FI. So it's like really cool that you're here telling us what a real FI identity is, because like you're the first one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I'm a Christian and a metalhead, right? And this INFJ I used to jam with, she knew that my identity was something big to me, even though I never told it to her. I guess she just observed it.
Right.
And she puts this random thing on my Facebook wall that says, "Can you be a Christian and a metalhead at the same time, and does it glorify God, or should you take metalhead out of your identity and just call yourself a Christian who likes metal?" I mean, I read the long, and it was thought provoking, but I'm like, I don't worship metal. It's just part of my culture. My identity is really in Christ. I just happen to also be a metalhead by subculture because I got the long hair, the beard, and I play metal. I love metal.
Right.
So
They don't contradict though, in your opinion. Like there's no reason, like it's you can be this and this.
as long as you go about it in a good way, like if you
Yeah.
actually worship the bands, then that's
Right.
idolatry. Like
Right.
if
Right.
you're, it's culture and religion are two different things, and
So it
people don't
sounds like,
realize.
yeah, it sounds like there's like but self consistency. Like you don't want contradictions between values. You want all of your values to remain consistent.
Oh yeah. Even in my book, I use a lot of Christian symbolism, and
Right.
the book's a very straightforward point. It's a fantasy story. We'll talk about it another day, but
Right.
it's it's my values coming out through story.
Right. Interesting. Cool, man. So yeah, let's plug your stuff here. So you were in this old band. Was it Benevolence you were saying, or that's the new one?
Uh, that's the new one. I
Right.
was in Exalted Throne for a while. Then I was in a band after that, but we don't have anything put out. It was called The Bleak Within, and trust me, it was a very bleak environment.
Right.
That was the one I was having some major tribe. Well, both of the bands I had tribe issues with, and this band, finally, me and the tribe are pretty much one with each other.
Right. Nice. Cool. And so, okay, so give me all the links. I'll put them in the description. And is there like a link to something else? Like you've got your YouTube channel, I'll link that too.
You can
And
plug it in if you want, and
right.
I think it's Benevolence Metal on Facebook and Benevolence Metal on YouTube. You'll just have to Google it.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Cool,
don't
man.
remember the addresses. The drummer runs all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
yeah. So
Yeah. Check it
what
out.
is so
And
what does my stack sound like from this video? Because I still don't understand the animals, man. I'm still grasping them.
yeah, man, I'm in the same boat. Animals are still are tricky. Yeah. Yeah, you're not alone. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So yeah, like I'll sign off and yeah, have a good one, man. Thank you so much. Like I really appreciate it.
No problem, dude. Maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah,
Find another person.
yeah. To
Find another
triangulate with.
writing, or maybe find somebody opposite. Talk. Maybe we'll find a TE person. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Have a good one.
You too, Ben.